A lot of people might not realize this, but freestyle rapping requires more mental exercise and focus than you might think. My name is Nick Marini, and my speech is intended on explaining the mental workout that is freestyle rapping and the effects it has on our mental capability. Freestyle rapping was something I've always enjoyed since high school, and ever since I've gotten into doing so, I've noticed a strengthening in my mental capability of retaining information and also remembering long-term information. Because it takes a certain amount of concentration, freestyle rapping creates a cognitive exercise for our brains which can lead to an increase of mental capacity. Freestyle rapping will increase the amount of brain activity in regions of the brain responsible for things like physical movement and even emotions. According to the findings of Dr. Brett Lashner, a gastrologist as well as part of an editorial team and health writers of everydayhealth.com, freestyle rapping will cause your brain to show signs of cognitive exercise through a functioning magnetic resonance imaging test, which allows us to see a physical representation of our brain's workout. Tests done by Dr. Lashner shows that our brains react more and become visually animated while freestyling. The brain gets a mental workout from freestyling when connecting rhyming words and stories together at a fast pace. The brain needs to be able to use its most creative side while at the same time incorporating different rhyme schemes and overall flow throughout the freestyling process. Our brains can utilize the parasylvian system, which is a part of our brain responsible for language production, and the alma-amygdala system, which is a region in the brain linked to emotion. And if we can maximize that potential of those two parts of our brain, we can focus enough mental energy to create lyrics on the spot. According to a news and events section on the National Institute on Deafness and Communication Disorders website, one of their writers stated that a study proved that freestyle rapping and lyrical improvisation reveals certain characteristic brain patterns. The parasylvian system is also referred to as the language area, and it happens to play a large role in freestyle rapping by regulating the speed of your words with the capacity of your mental vocabulary. The amygdala is connected to a part of the brain called the limbic system, which are both associated with processing major emotions, such as fear. Freestyling can be an emotional experience when linked to something powerful like a memory or a certain feeling that provokes strong emotions. After discussing the mechanics of freestyle rapping, and how it can be seen through the process of scanning the brain's activity during a freestyle, we can delve further into the effects that freestyling has on the capacity of our memory banks as well as the expansion of our vocabulary. The constant mental effort to think of new words in a verse or to connect different ideas for a dialogue in a story being told through a freestyle plays an important role in increasing our mental vocabulary list as well as strengthening our brain's ability to retain knowledge and information. This is all a product of repetitive effort made through freestyling. Freestyling has the potential, if practiced regularly, to increase one's ability to recollect knowledge committed to long-term memory because of how frequently pulling previously learned skills and pieces of information come into play during improvisational rapping. Given that freestyle rapping is mainly improvising a story or a song on the spot, the brain's cognitive creating thinking process can be exercised to be able to recall stories or create freestyles with a message that listeners can follow along with, as well as paint a mental image for the message or the story being conveyed.
This picture shows a basic outline of the human brain. Highlighted in light purple, the parasylvian cortex, also referred to as a system, is the part of our brain that shows the most cognitive activity while engaging in an actively creative activity. This part of our brain is used for helping us sort through our previously learned vocabulary as well as a portion of our motor functions related to the act of speaking.
A good rule of thumb to remember is that when it comes to other cognitive practices as well as freestyling, persistence breeds growth. Physical actions and emotions are heavily linked to parts of our brain that become increasingly active during freestyling. The parts of our brain that react the most while freestyling can be exercised to raise the efficiency of our brain's creative process. Constant mental effort being exerted through the practice of freestyling can affect one's mental capacity for retaining and accessing information. Although freestyling can come off as just a hobby, it has more to do with our mental power than we give it credit for. After discussing the mechanics of freestyling compared with our brain's reaction to the practice of improvisational rapping, my hope is that everyone will be more informed about the complexity of this activity. Thank you very much for listening.